Hello, lovely people. Welcome once again to LMTV. Today is a lovely day. We are here to prepare ourselves for various relationships that we get into day by day. We are honored to have with us here Seth Arthur Mensah. Shall we give it up for him, please? And then we're also fortunate to have another mama in our midst as well. She is Krista Osei Mensah. Let's give it up for her. We are honored. You're all humbly welcome. Today we are here to talk about nothing but relationship through it. The first topic we are going to discuss will be on mistakes before saying I do. There are incidents where people get into marriage and they later say that the things I wish I had known. Oh, why did I not know this? As is always said, ladies first. So Mama will help us by taking us through.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a privilege to have this conversation with you all. And I believe that at the end of it all, it will help us to prepare. As all of us are young people, and some are even in a relationship already. Others are also trying to have a relationship. But normally, as young as you are, most of the relationships are not geared towards marriage. Most of them, the initial ones, are just for fun, for the fun of it. And so some of you might decide to sample, in quotes, few or many of them. Then as you go along in life, you realize that you will not be growing any younger, and you wish to settle down with somebody, somehow, even if it's among the people that you've ever gone out with, or if it's a different person altogether. However, I realize that in life, mistakes are part of life. And we learn by our mistakes, but there are certain mistakes that can be avoided. So we have avoidable mistakes that will not take you through life. Marriage is a serious business. And I keep telling people that marriage is not a rehabilitation center. If you want to marry, just know that that marriage that you are entering into is not a rehabilitation center. You are not going there to rehabilitate anybody. You are going there, as God created it, to have companionship, to have friendship, and then, if God permits, there is procreation. So the whole basic thing is that we are going into marriage to enjoy marriage, not to endure. Because of this, there are certain mistakes that are avoidable. But you see, the interesting thing is that when somebody falls in love, that 4 letters, the thing we call love, when we think we are in love and we think we want to settle down with people, there are so many red flags we ignore. Because you see, at that moment, the whatever you call love is there. And therefore, you are trying to overlook so many avoidable mistakes that you could have avoided. But because you are calling whatever you have love, sometimes you are not rational. You become so emotional. And in doing that, most of your decisions are based on emotions, not objectivity and rationality. Wow. So, you are into a relationship with somebody. And sometimes the signs are clear. One avoidable mistake that you can save yourself of is insecurity. Sometimes it's so clear, it's so glaring, but you tend to give excuses for the person. Oh, it's because I did this. That is why this person is doing that. Somebody who is not secure in a relationship will still be insecure in marriage, and marriage will make it worse. So it's like the insecurity starts with mistrust. The person does not even trust the relationship. If you say you are going this way, the person wants to be there before the person believes that you are going that way. It means that it's something you need to avoid. The person doesn't trust you. And if somebody doesn't trust you, the person is always insecure. So when you even have friendship, mere friendship, the person is scared. Because the person has his or her own insecurities, or his or her own demons that he has not been able to deal with. Sometimes the questions that come in, you realize that this person doesn't trust you. When somebody is insecure, as a man, if you're in a relationship with a lady and she's insecure, it means that you can't have any other form of platonic relationship with any other lady, because any movement on your part becomes suspicious. If it's on the man's side, any movement on your side as a lady becomes suspicious. And this normally, when the relationship is fresh, you think that, oh, give it time. When I give it time, it will correct. Relationships are not about rehabilitation. If the person is insecure, before the person can enter into a meaningful relationship, let the person go and meet a counselor, a clinical psychologist, get over his or her insecurities before you can enter into relationship with that person.
Wow. Thank you very much. We come to the gentleman in the middle to also do his first submission.
Thank you, Jack, for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
We thank God for this opportunity. And we also thank God for your life, for organizing such a wonderful and fantastic program. In fact, as Mrs. just said, mistake is part of life. No human being under the sun can avoid doing or committing mistake. Irrespective of who you are or what you are, you can make mistake, because humans are all fallible, except God, who is infallible. When I say fallible and infallible, the difference is mistake. Hello? So you can make mistake as human as you are. But what is important is that after committing that mistake, or after making that mistake, what do you do? What do you do in that mistake? What is mistake? Because before we can even understand the topic we are discussing at this moment, we need to know what is mistake. Mistake is an act or judgment that is misguided. If you do something wrong, or if somebody perceives that what you have done to him is wrong, if your actions and inactions is bringing shame or displeasure to somebody, it is a mistake. When you find yourself in a situation where that party or that partner is not comfortable with you, it can also be termed as a mistake. But one major issue that I want us to talk about is this. One, if your partner is not able to come to the terms or to come to the fact that you are the real man that he is living with you, at times there could be mistake. If your partner is not able to come to the terms that you are the right man that is living with you, because of the mistrust that message just said, it could also be a mistake. So as a partner or as a would-be party who is preparing yourself into that marital process, do you trust your man? Do you have confidence in that man? Does your family or friends approve of that man? If they are not approve of that man, it means you are making a mistake. Why is it that this only particular man, people always complain about him? And as she just said, we have something called confirmation bias. Because you have clouded your mind not to listen to what is happening around, you might be tempted to think that whatever your party or partner is doing is right. But that is where you get it wrong. So, do your family approve of the party or partner you are moving along with? If it doesn't happen like that, it means you are making a mistake. So, for now.
All right, let's go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue.
People, this is the King of Queens, Zaino Baroni. Keep watching LMTV. It's the best. Don't see us here dead.
Hello, people. Welcome back to Relationship Prep. We are here to prepare our minds for the right course. Okay, let's take a look at what people had to say.
And we shall say, one mistake I've realized people do before they say I do is that they don't consider the hardworking nature of their partners before they say I do. And I think it is affecting most marriages that when they enter, the man will then realize that his wife is not hardworking, and that affects the marriage. And then the woman too will probably marry a lazy man who is not so supportive. and that also affects the marriage. So I believe they should check how hardworking their partners are before they enter into such covenants, or they say I do. Thank you.
So we thank you very much for your nice submissions. I was enthused by some of the key words that were raised. Insecurity that you talked about is an indefinite thing when it comes to relationships. How do me, as a single person looking for a lady, because as you said earlier, I might have sampled one, and based on experiences, how do I get over such past experience and be secure that this one I'm in is for real?
Thank you. You realize that, you see, this thing called marriage is a different ball game altogether. But it's disheartening these days to find out that people don't take marriage serious. Sure. Marriage is a serious business. So I like the word you said, how do you manage your insecurities? You see, at any given point in time, everybody in a relationship becomes insecure at some point in the relationship. You cannot do away with insecurity. However, the word is manage. How can you manage that insecurity? Because apart from virgins marrying virgins, almost everybody will go and marry somebody that has known somebody before, and that somebody has also known somebody before. You get the point? Yeah. And because of this, how do you even manage that? The first thing you have to understand with relationship is that everybody that is coming into a relationship is coming with a baggage. We all have excess baggages that we are coming in with. The reason I was using the term avoidable is that some of the baggages you can't do anything about it. You have to avoid. Others, you can manage it. Now, the person who is insecure, we have other things. That is why I don't want to move into the other topics. So I'm just trying to stay within the mistakes. Otherwise, I would have moved. Now, I realize that the person who is insecure, what are you insecure about? That is the first question you should ask about yourself. Because, you see, there are 1,001 boys. You chose him. There are 1,001 girls. You chose her. That conviction that made you choose her or him among all others makes you secure. Okay. That inner conviction makes you secure. Because there are so many people you've known, you've seen, but you are convinced that this one person. So the moment you do that, you are secured. Now, when I go back to conviction, I will tell you that with conviction, there is no initial insecurity, because the conviction gives you that peace, that inner peace you need to choose. You see, the first thing everybody looks for in a relationship is that inner peace. So if that 10 is not there, that is even the first mistake. So when that inner peace is there, that security, you on your part, you are secured. Because when I'm with this person, I am okay. The insecurity comes in because you have excess baggages. Insecurities come in when the person is not able to open up a bit. So I won't go there. We'll go there in future. When the person has not been able to make you feel the way you feel for him or her. Because this love thing is reciprocal. It's give and take. So the same you feel about me, I should be able to feel the same way about you. If one of you is not having the same chemistry, that is where the insecurity comes in. So you manage it. The management comes in, either you accept the person the way he or she is and move with the person, or leave the kitchen.
Wow. Accept the person or leave the kitchen. Okay. with this subject is very, it could be very, very sensitive sometimes, because when you are going into a relationship and you feel I mean, everybody at the initial stage you feel secured, but when you get in, that is when all these things comes to play.
That's why I said that when you zoom in into your next session, the insecurities will be open. The people say it will be naked. So for now, it's a little bit dressed.
All right. Insecurity as a sub of what we are discussing.
Well, thank you. I think the insecurity, the cardinal point that causes that is when you are dating two people at the same time.
Oh.
Nowadays, there is no fear of God in the actions and inactions of the youth, or especially those people who are into relationship. They think sex is normal. They think everything about relationship is normal. And therefore, the sanctity and discipline in that relationship, they ignore. So if you are dating two people at the same time, how can we be secure? And they know themselves that their partners are dating more than one or two people, and still they are moving along with them. My brother, you are not going to be secure, because you yourself, you know that you are not secure already.
Wow. So if anybody here is if you are playing double games, then you know that you are not. Insecurity flags out most when normally it comes to mistakes people do before getting married. Based on the samples we picked, is the element of this, I think that he is the right person. I think that he is not the right person. The key word for it being management. How do we deal with this? I think he's because that's all we are all based on assumptions. I meet Kofi, I meet Ajua. I am basing on assumptions to think that he or she is the right person for me. How do we deal with these assumptions?
You see, the interesting thing, relationship is not mathematics. It is mathematics that people are assuming. You see, that is why earlier I said the conviction. You see, like my good friend said, you people take a whole lot of things for granted. This generation, for relationship, oh no. You take it for granted. You think that, that's why you are thinking. Relationship is feeling, emotions. You see, emotions are involved here. You are not thinking. You see, that is why I talked about conviction. You see, when God created Eve, we always go back to the basis. When God created Eve, when Adam woke up, he didn't say, I think she is. He said, this is. And that is the conviction. This is. So before you can even go and tell somebody, for your terms, there are 3 stages. They have, I tell you, I want you to be my girlfriend or boyfriend. Then at some time, they said they have proposed. Then at some time, you are marrying. Our time, as Christians, the person comes to you boldly and is that I want to marry you. For me, when I was young, if you come and tell me that God says I should marry you, I will bounce you, because it is not God that is coming to marry me. You are the person coming to marry me. So when you come and say, I, Kwesi, wants to marry Ajua, you are convinced. When I'm also convinced that I want to marry Kwesi, why not? At a point, our excess baggages will start showing. As for the initial stages, it is fine. We are all trying, because Kwesi wants to marry Ajua, Ya wants to marry Ya, so we are moving. But one day, we all bust. The excess baggages starts coming in. And then you start dealing with them. You cannot stand outside and deal with this. Is it the person is the right person for me or not? Sometimes it's not about the person being right or wrong. It's the character of the person. Whatever the person is showing, you don't like it. We have changeable behaviors and unchangeable behaviors. Maybe the unchangeable ones are more than the changeable. So I am backing off. Haven't you heard people telling somebody that, I love you? I wish I could marry you. However, because of 1, 2, 3, that you can't change. I'm backing off. So it's not about whether I think. You feel. Because before you, unless you people are playing games with the girls, these days the girls have 3, the boys have 3. We are all trying to make, because there's no honesty and truthfulness. In relationship, everybody is securing themselves in quote with another person, backup, so that when this one fails, the backup comes out. And because of that, we don't take time to accept people. You see, when you love somebody, when you want to be with the person, you accept the person. Sure. Definitely the person has unchangeable behaviors. If it is not many and you can cope and manage, why not?
Wow. So based on your separation, it looks like management becomes a key word for marriage.
Yes.
Wow.
You see, that is why we have a lot of divorces. Sometimes you sit down as a counselor, he will tell you. Some of the things that comes to you, they are petty.
Sure.
They are things that shouldn't even come to a counselor. But people are bringing it because the word managing. Nobody wants to manage anybody. But let me tell you frankly, marriage is management because you are all coming from different places. So if you are not ready to manage anybody, you go and stay there without marrying. At least it will help you than going to marry somebody. You see, because this relationship you people enter, you don't have time to manage them. Sure. You don't manage them. So some of you, maturity, you don't have. Don't go and enter. You be there when you think you are ready. And then you are poised. You go in there, and then you take it. They just play with them.
Guys, we play with them. We don't.
Oh, you do.
Then the girls
Most
do
of
well.
you do. You see, especially, you see, the teens, early adulthood, the young adult. You see, sometimes you are not ready for a relationship. That is leading to marriage. Be frank. Tell the person, so that the person knows that we are just there. It's like, we use the term, we are doing something. Isn't it? Otherwise, you see, it's serious business. We don't know why you people take it for granted. 3 people come and crash. There's a fight, then they are happy.
You have something to add on?
Well, I think a couple of months ago, one of my clients came to me and I asked them, what is your inner conviction? What is driving you towards this? Why do you want to marry this man? Do you know what they want to do? And then that I saw every time I see him in my dreams. I remember dreaming that I was picking some flowers for him. So that has been his conviction for accepting that man's proposal. And that should be the case. There should be certain factors or considerations that you need to put in place.
What are your criteria? What are the standards that you have set for yourself? What do you want to see in that woman or man that you want to marry? That is what you need to do for now. So first, you need to consider the age. You need to consider the family background. You need to consider the educational level, the height. You need to consider so many factors before you could say, this man is my man or this woman is my woman. If you are not able to do that, it means you are not ready for marriage and you are just going to waste your time into that marriage.
Wow. Let's do that. But before we go to the audience, we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we give the audience the chance to interact with you, and then we get to learn more.
Of our partners, because I think that is one of the reasons that brings the insecurity. If you are investigating so much into what your partner is doing, I think that is one of the factors. So should we be doing so? Should we be doing so? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. The thing is, you don't even have to only pee with your nose. Your mouth and your eyes should also be part of the pee. Because how can you say that you are going to live with somebody for the rest of your life and you don't care to pay a particular attention to his character or his life?
That is unacceptable. But even if you go to hospital, they will give you drug, but we also have overdose. Do you understand? So it is when you go beyond the level, that is where the problem becomes. At any certain point of time, there should be a certain stage that you should trust your man or your woman. For immediate relationship, you can do that. But when you get to that level where you have seen that person for at least 6, 7 months or 1 year, why do you still have to say that you don't trust this woman or man, and you are still living with that man or woman? Then you are creating a problem for yourself. So you can do that, but you shouldn't go to the extra. That is where the problems come in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
If I want to take his problem to another angle, his peeping, if I put the peeping in quotes, it's like his peeping is not about getting to know the person. It's like you are always prognosing into the person's affair. You get it? And it's like, for me, I would say that you go over boundaries. Whenever you are in relationship with somebody, we set boundaries. It doesn't mean that because I'm in relationship with you, we are going, even in marriage, we still have boundaries. So I think his peeping has got to do with going over the boundaries. And it's like there are so many people, they are into relationship with people. Yes, the trust. They can't build the trust well. And they depend on people for them to tell them how their partners are. Even those of us in marriage, after so many years, you still even realize that you don't even know the person. Because every year and every challenge comes with its own behavior. So it's like you cannot stay, you see, till the person dies. Because sometimes the person will die. And some of the things the person did, you cry the wife that you are living with the man, or the man that you are living with the woman, you are shocked. That is it the person I married. So sometimes, you see, let's be realistic and be practical as possible. You can't be peeping. You see, because we all have people who hate us. We all have people who don't want relationships to go on. So as you peep and peep and peep, you get the wrong information. You see, for me, I keep saying that if I trust Zach that you will not do this, that is my trust for you. When you, Zach, betrayed that trust, it's your business, not mine. My business in the relationship is to trust. You know, so when we get to that level, it helps. So that you don't peep, in quotes. But as for the other things, like counselor said, yes, you have every right. But sometimes we peep too much. You get it? And then we, especially when your lady is in school, schools come with own challenges. And you want to peep and peep and peep and peep. As you peep and peep and peep and peep,
What have you seen?
the things that you will see, if care is not taken, you cannot marry anybody.
True.
You see, sometimes we close our eyes to certain people. If it is avoidable, you close your eyes to it. So to get the person for yourself. You see, if you love somebody, it's work. It's a serious business. It is work. It is not. That is why sometimes people don't even understand people that, why are you still in this marriage? Me, if I were to be the person, I would have gone. You can't go because of certain level of commitment. So the peeping peep. But go and peep. What are you looking for? Because you, if the lady also decides to go and peep, you know, she will dog you long time. So let's peep, but let's peep in style. Let's peep. I always tell the students, peep according to, not according from.
According to, not according from.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, how do you know that you're ready for marriage? Because a lot of people, they go through a lot of relationships, and you find that you've had like 7 guys, and then you maybe felt like, oh, he's the one, with 3 guys. And then you decide the 7th guy, like, oh, I'm going to marry him. Because he proposed, the others didn't propose. So how do you know that you know what, I'm ready right now.
Okay. So, how do you know?
How do you know? Interesting question. In fact, there's no automatic age for it to determine that somebody is ripe for marriage or into relationship. But if you want to know, one, you should know that have you completed your education or your vacation? Do you have something that you can depend on in future? Are you just going to depend solely on the man or the woman? I know somebody who is a man and you want to depend on the woman for food. How can it be possible? So you yourself, you need to find something to better do. And then two, you have to be mature, both physically and spiritually. By physically, you need to mature in stature. And spiritually, how is your relationship with God like? Do you understand the technicalities in marriage? If you are not able to come to these terms, then it means you are not ready. So to answer your question for you, one, you need to get a work done, and then you need to be able to say that I am settled for marriage. Your mother can never decide for you that you are grown, so you should go and marry. After all, is it your mother who is going to do that thing for you? You are going to do that thing, and I hope you understand that. So you yourself, you need to have that inner conviction that you are ready.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I share similar views. However, we might not meet everybody who is a Christian. So, whichever faith you subscribe to, make sure you are well grounded in it. For me, it's not about the age. It's not about whatever. But I realize that somebody has just finished SHS about entering the university and is going to propose to somebody that I will marry you. Marry with what? You see, and it means, as I said, that sometimes this insecurities, and so you rush to go and propose a girl so that nobody proposes the person. And then you are into courtship with the person for the number of years that you will finish your school, go find job. Who does that? Now, like he rightly said, we don't have any cutoff point that at this point I am ready. When you are ready, you know. When somebody is learning a trade, you are not ready. That is where sometimes we get things wrong. And then you don't have any meaningful income. So when you marry, how are you going to take care of your family? You don't have any meaningful income. Now, the point is when you reach the stage you feel that you want to marry, you have yourself questions. There are some 10 questions or so you can ask yourself. My first question I keep asking people is, are you ready to go into the risk of marriage? Marriage is a risky business.
Wow.
You see, not to scare anybody, but when we tell you the facts, at least it helps you. Whatever I'm going to put my head into, am I ready for the challenges? Because marriage is not about the ceremony. As for ceremony, everybody can organize one. So are you ready when challenges come? Are you ready to face the challenges? That's why when parents, especially we the mothers, push our boys, it is the boys we push. Sometimes it is the girl. Now you are 30 years. Nobody is marrying you. She knows she's 30. She's not going to marry herself. That one she knows. She's not going to propose herself. That one too she's aware. But you cannot use that age to push her into something that she is not ready for. She has to be ready. In psychology, there is readiness. When you are ready, even your mindset is ready. You know what that thing they call marriage is. That thing is where you are living and cleaving. So you don't carry your bag to your husband's house. The next 2 seconds, you carry that bag back to your mother's house because you are settling scores. You get it? So marriage readiness has got to do with individuals. Somebody might be 18 years old and the person is ready for marriage. Somebody might be 30 and the person is still not ready for marriage. So this marriage thing, there's no hard and fast rule about it. However, make sure you have a regular income, a stable, regular income. Because some incomes are not stable. It comes one touch, you take it. And then make sure you have somewhere you are going to keep somebody's daughter. It's very important. Even if it's a single room, it's somewhere you are keeping somebody's daughter. And make sure you understand the rudiments of marriage. Because marriage, the counselor doesn't want to mention. Some of us, where we are coming from, we mention. Marriage is not about sex. I'm a public health person. Sexuality is my business. So I talk about it. It's not about sex. There's more to marriage than sex. So you have to understand all those rudiments. And then when you feel you are ready, that inner conviction tells you, I am ready. So when the man comes or the man goes to propose, you are in business. We dear, will come and support you. Why not?
All right. Wow. We will come and support you. You are watching LMTV. You can subscribe to all of our social media channels and follow us on LMTV space GH. We are having so much fun. I don't know about you sitting here, but I am having so much fun. We are tackling every subject on relationship. This is the first one. We are going for a quick and a nice performance, and when we come back, we'll wrap up.
The Lord is my shepherd.
I want you to be waiting.
I shall never want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He restored my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Oh yeah. For his name's sake. Are you enjoying it? Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou walk with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And so here I say, come on. He is the I am. Are you here? He is my provider, protector, my...
Wow. That was a splendid performance. We are sure that very soon she's going to go that high. Okay. Well, we would have the guests honor us with their last words that we'll go home with in our pockets and not let them go because they are like eggs. I think I started with the ladies first, but this time I'll go the other way around.
Well, in summing up with the discussion we are having, what I want to say is that marriage is beautiful. Marriage is adorable. Marriage is instituted by God. If you want to enter into any relationship or marriage, you are bound to make mistake, but you shouldn't be there. You should be able to come out with what you did that you need to change, because we are all human beings. Therefore, as human as we are, we can make mistake. What mistake are you making in your relationship that you have become rigid, that you don't want to change? If you do that, that relationship can never end to where you want it to end to. So with all spirit of humility, let us all make sure that we work out those hiccups or those challenges that we are having with our partners. And if you do that, we are going to have a very wonderful relationship that will lead to marriage, and it will become successful both to the glory of God and to the glory of man. May God keep you and let you maintain the sanctity and discipline that He wants you to play in your marriage. God bless you all. Thank you.
All right.
In sum, I would say that marriage, first of all, you should understand that it's not a rehabilitation center. And therefore, it is better to break a relationship than marriage. Very easy. So, if at some point you realize that your non-avoidable mistakes are more than the avoidable ones, you have the chance to back off. There is no hard and fast rule that I want to marry somebody and I should at all costs marry that person. Time changes, people change. Sometimes the way you people were, maybe at a point you feel that we might not be happy together, so let's go our way. don't pretend. Don't make your emotions override your sense of judgment. At some point in time, when the guts in you says let's go, let it go. It means that it won't work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I have been educated. My audience they have also been educated, and we are glad. We thank you for coming. We are sure that as often as possible, we will have you on the show and educate us and enlighten us on some of these topics that are bothering us as singles who are preparing to get married. If you watch to the end of this show, it means that you have been following LMTV. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and in Active Designs. Contact Active Designs for all of your graphic design works, and trust me, you will come back and thank me. LMTV, we take you there. Relationship prep, trust me, you are going to say I do.